This is Epic Book Recaps, a podcast that offers complimentary audio summaries of influential nonfiction books, making learning a smarter experience. Neurogamer by Dr. Pablo Barrecheguren. Click play. The world of video gaming has permeated nearly every facet of our society. From the ubiquity of classic characters like Pac-Man and Mario in popular culture to the success of video game adaptations on the big screen, the prevalence and impact of this modern form of entertainment cannot be understated. This impact extends well past the realm of console gaming or mobile apps. Even the cinema industry has taken note, with several blockbuster titles seeing success as films. One example is the Super Mario Bros. Movie 2023, which holds the record for the highest-earning video game adaptation in cinematic history. The influence of video games on our culture, our scientific understanding, and our everyday lives is undeniable. But how have video games come to play a role in scientific exploration? Let's consider the influence of the first Doom game, released by ID Software in 1993. This iconic game was not just popular because of its engaging and groundbreaking gameplay. It also served as an emulator, a piece of hardware or software that allows one computer system to behave like another. Its creators have successfully run the game on various platforms, including ATMs, graphing calculators, oscilloscope displays, and in a remarkable breakthrough in 2024, even gut bacteria. Without delving too deeply into the specifics of this latter experiment carried out at MIT, this example serves to illustrate how the realm of video gaming has provided fodder for scientific exploration and inspiration, particularly within the field of neuroscience. As we delve deeper into our summary, we will explore the discoveries that neuroscience and psychology have made about the potential impact of human interactions with video games on our fundamental brain functioning. So prepare yourself, hit the start button, and let the journey begin. Video games offer a unique and powerful tool for studying the effects of technology on human neurobiology. But what about the often debated link between emotional responses to video games and violent behavior? While we may use the terms emotion and feeling interchangeably in everyday conversation, from a neurobiological perspective, they represent quite different realities. Emotions are automatic physiological responses, such as the racing heartbeat we experience when we're scared, while feelings are the conscious interpretation of these emotional responses. This distinction leads us to an intriguing realization. We can measure and observe emotions in a universal way, but feelings are inherently subjective. As Dr. Pablo Barrecheguren, a neurobiologist, succinctly puts it, if someone loves them with all their heart, well, they don't love them because our feelings are in our brains. Contrary to popular belief, our heart is not the repository of our passions, emotions, and feelings. It is simply a muscle that pumps blood. Instead, it is the amygdala, a section of the brain that coordinates our physiological responses to emotions, that houses these complex traits. Understanding the distinction between emotions and feelings is crucial to understanding their influence on our decision-making processes. The video game industry caters to a wide swath of experiences, each capable of triggering a range of emotions. Some games, like Stardew Valley, provide an avenue for relaxation, while others, like Doom, stimulate adrenaline and cater to a taste for action-packed gaming. As video games strive for greater realism, questions arise about their potential to incite violence. But before you panic and banish your child's console to the attic, or worry about morphing into a keyboard warrior, rest assured that there is no definitive scientific evidence to suggest that highly realistic graphics exacerbate aggressive behavior. However, research does suggest that the relationship between video game content and real-world behavior is more nuanced than we might initially think. A 2018 study had one group play Grand Theft Auto V and another group play The Sims 3. The results showed that the neural pathways of the participants remained as sensitive or insensitive to violence as before the experiment. While some outlets in the mainstream media view video games as catalysts for violence, others absolve them of blame, arguing instead that family dynamics and socio-economic environment play a more significant role in the development of aggressive behavior. Therefore, as we continue to probe the origins of human violence, it's important to remember that empathy and understanding are needed in the real world. The most significant battle isn't within the game, it's in understanding and managing the stressors in our lives. An interesting side note: the Entertainment Software Rating Board, ESRB, was established in response to the first game in the Mortal Kombat series, which sparked controversy due to its graphic depiction of violence, thus highlighting the need to classify video games. The power of storytelling in video games. Video games have the power to captivate us with intricate and profound narratives that transcend basic entertainment. Let's consider Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice as an example. Its creators aim to raise awareness about mental health issues and promote empathy. The game's protagonist, Senua, has schizophrenia, and the storyline and gameplay cleverly integrate this aspect of her reality using innovative audiovisual techniques. As players, we are fully immersed in Senua's thought processes, fostering a strong emotional connection to her human existence. Dr. Pablo Barrecheguren affirms, "All we are is in our brains. Our thoughts, memories, and actions are created in concrete cells." How exactly do we understand others? A story impacts us emotionally because we are able to identify with the feelings of its characters. How do we make this connection? The answer lies in mirror neurons, brain cells that activate both when we perform an action and when we observe someone else doing the same. While our interpretation is automatic and subconscious, these neurons enable us to grasp the motivations underpinning the actions of others. Empathy plays a critical role in video gaming. It influences the decisions and actions of players through their emotional bond with the characters. But can video games impact our feelings when we're not actually playing them? According to certain studies, they can promote solidarity and generosity. However, it's worth noting that some video game communities have been criticized for their role in cyberbullying and for perpetuating gender bias. Toxic behavior often affects groups of players, and the hypersexualization of female characters has triggered much debate and controversy. While research on this topic continues, it is clear that video games are much more than just a form of entertainment. They have the potential to alter our perceptions and actions. This underscores the responsibility of the industry and game creators to harness this power to create more inclusive and empathetic online communities. Video games wield the power to sway our emotions, therefore, it is essential to encourage narratives that promote empathy and respect. Video games are not akin to drugs. Have you ever pondered the definition of a drug? It encompasses more than just the illicit substances you've been warned to avoid. Some are normalized and widely consumed around the globe, such as caffeine and aspirin. So, can we categorize video games as drugs? Not exactly, although their effects can be similar in certain respects. Dopamine, often referred to as the queen of neurotransmitters, is a chemical messenger in the brain that gives us pleasure when we eat or engage in activities we enjoy. Playing video games can also trigger the production of dopamine, leading to a satisfying feeling that keeps us coming back for more. However, not everyone who plays video games will develop an addiction. Addiction is a complex process that involves integration into routine and self-control, as well as genetic, environmental, and social factors. Have you ever felt the urge to indulge in something but managed to resist? Your ability to do so is an example of the self-control required to avoid falling into addictive behaviors, such as binge eating or excessive video gaming. Indeed, video games can potentially become addictive, particularly if they begin to interfere with your daily responsibilities. So, it's important to keep your daily schedule in mind and enjoy gaming with moderation. Some view video games as a wholesome form of entertainment, while others use them as a way to decompress after a long day. There are legitimate concerns about their impact on mental health, but there is also strong evidence to suggest that they offer social benefits, such as connecting individuals with shared interests. Determining if someone is addicted to video games requires a comprehensive analysis that takes into account factors like the environment, neurobiology, and social impact. Why do some people find video games so addictive? This is where psychology comes in, using an experiment that mirrors the famous Pavlovian conditioning case. Through conditioning, we learn to associate specific stimuli with rewards, setting off a chain reaction of behavior that keeps us hooked. Some game developers exploit this by designing intricate games that keep players glued to the screen. They even employ psychologists to verify or enhance the effectiveness of their designs. In the end, the challenge lies in striking a balance between enjoyment and restraint. Do video games improve intelligence? In 2004, Nintendo released the innovative Nintendo DS, a portable gaming device that featured a touchscreen. This innovative feature allowed users to play games in the traditional manner, but also to interact in new ways, such as drawing or writing. Dr. Kawashima's brain training was one of the most popular DS games. It gauges the age of the brain by challenging players to keep their minds fit through a series of mental exercises. The game's charm lay in the promise of enhancing cognitive agility through simple yet demanding tasks, such as memory retention tests and mathematical problems. However, as time passed, interest in the game declined. While it was entertaining, many players found that it did not lead to long-term improvements in their cognitive abilities. The efficacy of this type of mental training was called into question as more and more people began to question whether the exercises were too specialized to have a significant societal impact or whether they could indeed boost intelligence. Do modern video games have the potential to sharpen our mental acuity? Perhaps their most significant benefit lies in their impact on memory. Every type of memory, from working to episodic, plays a crucial role in our daily activities and cognitive abilities. Research suggests that playing video games can enhance working memory, even though the benefits may be minor. Studies examining patterns of brain activity during gameplay have shown how certain video games can activate different areas of the brain. Brain plasticity, the brain's ability to adapt and change in response to experience and education, can also be influenced by video games. Therefore, fostering greater collaboration between game developers and neuroscientists could lead to the creation of more beneficial and effective games. However, it's only fair to consider the potential drawbacks of late-night gaming. The impact of video games on sleep is a growing concern. Exposure to screens can disrupt melatonin production, which can affect sleep quality and consequently cognitive abilities during the day. Striking a balance between enjoyment and cognitive health could be the key to harnessing the benefits of this modern form of entertainment. Video games have a dual potential. They can boost cognitive abilities but can also disrupt sleep patterns if not used in moderation. Play to heal. The progression of science depends on dialogue, accidental discoveries, and the re-evaluation of accepted theories. For instance, Susanna Herculano-Housel's innovative cell counting method led to a significant revision of the estimated number of neurons in the human brain, which was downgraded from 100 billion to a more precise 86 billion. An emerging body of research from neuroscientists suggests that video gaming could be a useful tool for older adults, debunking the myth that video games are solely a pastime for the younger generation. Studies show that older players can see significant improvements in memory and other cognitive abilities, proving that gaming can be more than just entertainment. As the incidence of neurodegenerative diseases continues to rise, gaming could serve as a potential therapeutic tool. Exergames that are played on platforms like Xbox Kinect, Dance Dance Revolution, and Wii consoles incorporate physical activity. These games, which are entertaining but also promote exercise and aid in rehabilitation, have challenged the traditional image of video games as sedentary activities. It's also important to take cultural considerations into account. The culture surrounding video games is diverse and expansive. However, its educational potential is often overlooked. For instance, builders involved in the reconstruction of the Notre Dame Cathedral have been able to make significant progress thanks to the accurate historical representations featured in Assassin's Creed. Efforts to make video games accessible to players with disabilities have grown substantially in recent years. Examples include adaptive controls and controllers for individuals with limited or impaired mobility. To further promote inclusivity, special visual settings are available for players with epilepsy or color blindness. The convergence of science and video games demonstrates the intricate ways in which culture and knowledge intertwine to enrich our lives. Despite historical biases, we are living in a time of continuous discovery and growth, where both neuroscience and video games promise to surprise and delight us in the years to come. Video games hold the potential to improve both cognitive and physical health, forging a fruitful relationship between science, culture, and entertainment. Beyond first-person shooter, FPS, and classic action games, there is a wealth of genres to explore, from puzzles and sports to simulation games that cover everything from construction to fishing. Given that the gaming industry is more profitable than the movie and television industries combined, we can expect the library of available games to continue growing, offering an ever-expanding array of innovative, adventurous, and original titles. Armed with this newfound understanding, you can approach video gaming with the assurance that it is a safe and healthy hobby when enjoyed in moderation, much like everything else in life. So, grab your controller and let the games begin. Do this. Engage with video game communities to learn from other gamers and receive game recommendations. Reflect on how video games affect you. Monitor your emotional responses during and after gameplay and consider whether it has a noticeable effect on your cognitive abilities. Support independent game developers. We recommend trying games like Outer Wilds, Undertale, or Cuphead.